Alright, you guys, so here we are back in my computer so we can discuss what you guys requested, numbers. So let's get on it, guys. So first of all, I would like to kind of mention the two groups where most numbers fall. So of course there are other number groups like the nominal numbers and that kind of thing, but we're going to focus on these two because for practical uses those are the ones that we are going to be using the most. So as you can tell from the images, cardinal numbers are used for these kinds of things, and on the right side you see the ordinal numbers that are used for positions, right? So as you can see, this happy guy in the middle in the first place, he won an award, he probably won a competition, so he's first. So that would be an ordinal number. So when it comes to cardinal numbers, as the picture showed before, the picture I showed before, you may use numbers for time, for years, for money, counting things in general. Say you're counting the amount of bananas you have left, or the amount of eggs there are in the fridge, or the amount of rabbits that were born, etc., etc. Now, as you can see, you can read here that says phone numbers are, parentheses, nominal, identification also nominal. So basically, why are we naming them slightly differently? Because when we talk about phone numbers, we use pretty much the same cardinal numbers, but they don't have a value per se. They are just numbers to identify things, okay? Same thing for your ID number, okay? Your social security number, whatever the case may be, okay? All right, so let's talk about numbers from 0 to 90, right? So when we are discussing numbers from 0 to 9, you may discuss numbers like 1, 2, 3. Be very careful with 3, please. Remember to put your tongue between your teeth and push some air out in order to get that effect, right? And that nice R, you may not touch you shouldn't touch your palate while you're pronouncing this sound. So you go 3, and don't pull your tongue too violently, because then you're gonna have a funny R sound like thr. You don't want to do that. You want to 3, okay? 3. You don't want to say tree, because if you're talking about tree, you're talking about an apple tree, an avocado tree, etc. Right? Now, if we are talking about 4, 5, I want you to bite your lip, to use your upper teeth and touch your lower lip. 5, okay? When you pronounce 6, I want you to say a KS sound. 6, 6. You see, it's not really X. You're actually saying X, X, 6. All right, same thing for 7, very similar to 5. 7, okay, bite that lip, that lower lip with your upper teeth, right? And then 8, use that stop T we talked in a previous video. And 9, I want to hear that second N. 9. Okay, don't say 9. Okay, say 9. All right, now the famous teen numbers that for some people are kind of confusing, annoying, but don't worry, no worries whatsoever. We are going to practice them and get them mastered. So of course we have the first 3 that have their own names. You go 10, 11, 12, but when it comes to starting from 13 and onwards, we have an interesting repetition, right? Now, what I want you to do is to emphasize this syllable. So you go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Why? Because we don't want to confuse them. We want to be easy on our listener and make sure we don't mix them up. So here, if we advance to the next group of numbers, you know, you count until 19, then you go 20 or 20, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Notice how I am pronouncing. In a lot of these cases, I'm pronouncing the T as a D. 20, okay, 30, 40, 50. In the case of 50, it's very hard to pronounce that D sound because it comes from an F sound. So you go 50, 60, the same thing here, 70, 80, 90, okay? So remember, how can I tell them apart? So if I go here, a typical headache-inducing number would be 13, 13, so you accentuate, you emphasize that teen syllable, teen, 13, right? And here, 30, 30, okay? So you go 30, 13, right? So that way, you make sure your listener understands you. All right, now we move on here, and now we want to talk about hundreds. So repeat after me. You want to pronounce this sound right here. Hundred, dread, hundred. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, right? And you combine them to the numbers you already, know, or the ones we practiced before, right? So say, for example, 505, right? Or 120, right? Now, check out these examples I listed here. 225, 735, 333, 617. Remember, emphasize that teen, 17, right? Now, here's a little note. British people tend to use and, right? While Americans tend to omit it. So you go 225, 735, 333, whatever you prefer, or just go 333. All right? So have that in mind. Now, the next ones, oh my God, the thousands. Oh my God, I hate these numbers. They're so hard. They are not. They are not. Okay? So basically, this is the deal, guys. Your key is the comma. Okay? And also, for you guys that are in Latin America, usually you use a period or a point for the thousands. It's not the case in the English language. We are going to use the comma for the thousand. Okay, guys. So what is the tip? What is the pro tip I want you to memorize from this point on is that you're going to read this number, whatever number you have to your left of the comma. Before the comma, you're going to read that number. If I have a 1, well, I read 1, right? I get to the comma, and the comma, it's basically the word thousand. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, right? Let's go a step ahead. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and you know the other numbers, right? So 35,000, right? Now, let's go into a little bit of more difficulty. So you go 100, you know the hundreds. Remember, you are ignoring these numbers until you get to the comma. But first, you got to read this. So you go 999,999. Remember, read whatever is to your left. Once you're done reading this, you read the comma, and then what's to your right. Don't get overwhelmed with these numbers. They're quite easy. Remember, before the comma, to your left, read whatever number is before you, what is in front of you, and then to your right, your comma is going to be your comma is going to be named 1,000, and then you're going to read the rest. Okay, so here's some more examples: 7,000, 7,000, 7,250, or British 7,250, right? That sort of idea. So 37, I read my number to my left, 37,157, okay? 125,125, okay? Oops, I missed a T here, 20, okay? And here, 850,575, guys, okay? So have that in mind. It's not hard, guys. Just read before the comma. Then when you get to the comma, you say 1,000, and then you read what is to your right. All right, so let's talk about money. Now that we know about thousands and all that kind of thing, let's talk about what everybody likes. The money, the G's, the Benjamins, right? Okay, so if you're talking about a bill, the physical bill, don't make the word plural. Don't say dollars, because you're referring to a bill. So, oh, I have a $1 bill. Okay. Hey, do you have change for a 5? Yeah, I have 5 $1 bills. Listen to that carefully. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 $1 bill or $1 bills. Okay, because I have 5 times $1 bill. Okay, does that make sense? So $5 bill, $10 bill, $20 bill, $50 bill, and then you have the $100 bill. Okay. Now, sometimes natives don't say the word bill. They go like, I have a 5 here. Yeah, I have 2 5s. I can change that 10 for 2 5s. Okay? Does that make sense? 2 5s, 2 $5 bills. Okay? That makes sense? So that is the way you say it. Don't make the word dollar plural. So you go 2 $5 bills. All right? So there we go. Now, here, the next tip I give here is that say the number and the word dollar. So the dollar is like the signal you give your listener to know that whatever comes after dollar it's going to be cents, right? So everything after it will be cents. And cents is often optional for natives. Have that in mind, guys. So let's read it first. You go here, $2.50. Excuse me, how much is that coffee? It's $2.50. Or sometimes they will go, it's $2.50. $2. I know whatever comes next are the cents. $2.50. Okay, does that make sense? All right, guys. Here, as I said, they drop sometimes. Natives drop the word dollar and cents altogether. So be aware, guys. Pay attention. Pauses, and that will give you the hint. So buy now for just $9.99. Okay, so there you go. You know that it's $9.99. A very deceiving offer, but yeah, that's what marketers and salesmen do, or salespeople do, right? Okay, let's keep moving. Now, when we talk about, 4-digit thousands, right? And remember, you want that comma, okay? Not a point. Points are for decimals, guys. Points are for decimals. Have that in mind. So, refer to your 4-digit thousands as the way explained before or above, right? Or splitting the number and saying 100. Okay, this is a typical thing natives do. So let me read the first example. So you go 1,000. Remember what I taught you before? $1,250. You may use and if you want. $2,250. Right? You could say it that way too. Right? Or as natives very often say, 1,200. So basically think of it this way. When you say the word 100, we are going to have, that number and 2 other digits, right? So you go 12, there you have your 12, and then you have $1,250, $1,250. Okay, usually this style is used for double zero thousand digits. So you go $1,200, $2,500, which would be $2,500, so on and so forth. And also you may use expressions such as grand or K. So this house is worth 200 grand, or this house is worth 200K. 12K, 1K, 3K, 1 grand, 3 grand, 4 grand. Okay, guys, let's move on. Okay, how about years? How about years? Pretty simple, guys, pretty simple. So when you refer to the 20th century, which is, you know, the ones that you will refer most likely, and the 21st century, or maybe we're talking about historical events and you can go back in time, you're going to split the number, divide it in two. So you go and 2 pairs, 2-digit pairs, right? So you go, I was born in 1986, right? Okay. In the year 1836, blah blah blah. That sort of idea, guys. When you're talking about 21st century years, you may say the same. You may do the same, or just use plain thousand numbers. So you go, in the year 2019, okay, in the year 2020, 2010, etc. Okay. Now there's a tricky part when you have like 2005, for example, you go 2005. Kind of unusual, but you may hear that. When it comes to those double O in the middle, double zero in the middle, you may say it's better to go 2005, 2003, 2004, right? And here in the year 2019, right? So that is how you break down years. So when were you born? That's the first number you should know by heart. Like, you should memorize that one. In my case, I was born in the year 1986. 1986, right? How about you? All right, so that's the one you should start learning from now on. Okay, and now we have the ordinal numbers, guys. As I said, you get a first place medal. First place, guys. So here's the kicker. After fourth, you're going to read them all with a TH. So the first, think of, first, second, and third as the special ones, the ones that you cannot change their names. You always have to use those names. First, second, third. And then you go fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Notice how I am saying THs, okay? Remember, I want you to go and exhale nicely, and your tongue between your teeth, right? All right, 5th, 4th, etc., 10th, 11th, so on and so forth. But here's the thing. When you get to 21st, 22nd, 23rd, remember, first, second, and third are special. You have to respect them. And then you get back to 24th, 25th, 26th, guys. Okay? So here we go with some examples. He won the first place in the marathon. Wow, he won a marathon. That's great, right? Now here, welcome to the 25th annual Oscar Awards with host blah 25th. I don't know what number are they now, but that's pretty much the example. The 25th annual Oscar Awards, the 25th annual ceremony of blah, okay? 31st annual whoever and whatever, guys. Now here's the thing. When you are in an informal situation, guys, informal situation, you can talk about dates, okay? Let me show it here in my computer. You can see here Tuesday November 5. That's an informal way of saying things. But in a more formal way, you would say Tuesday, November 5th with the ordinal number here. All right? So be aware about that. Dates can be, in an informal way, November 5 or November 5th. Okay? I was born in January 21st. Does that make sense? Let me open here a calendar app so you can see, right? We check the numbers here, we check the dates, and you go, here's my packed schedule, right? Birthdays and everything. And then, for example, November 19th or November 19. You may say it both ways. Both ways are absolutely correct, guys, okay? All right, let's keep going here. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about numbers in a nutshell, guys. So remember, you have your cardinal and ordinal numbers, okay? Cardinal numbers are for counting, okay? And your nominals for ID. Oh, here's a little extra thing I almost forgot. If you are giving your phone number, guys, please make it easier on everybody and just read them one by one. 555-0456. You may say O for the telephone number, for the zeros, guys, okay? You may say 0, you may say O. Americans tend to say O a lot, all right? So have that in mind. And that would be like a technically an ordinal number, but they work just the same. A nominal number, but they work just the same as a cardinal number. Okay, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and remember, separate them one by one if you're giving me a phone number, guys. Okay, so that's it. Let's get back outside and finish and wrap this lesson up. All right, guys, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please don't forget to leave a like and keep those requests coming. Post it on a comment section and I would gladly record a lesson for you. And so I'll see you in the next one.